hugely serious issue facing British Columbians, facing the people who live on this coast, and facing Canadians as a nation. This is an issue that begins in the tar sands and ends up on the north coast of British Columbia.
The set designer for Avatar, the art director, originally from Edmonton, came to the Alberta tar sands to create his vision of the mining on Pandora. But to most of us, the first comparison that comes to us all is Mordor, and it sounds trite, but it is a very, very accurate description of the visual impact of being there. Surrounding the tar sands are some of the most incredibly beautiful and biologically important boreal forests. These boreal forests are the largest terrestrial carbon sink on the planet. Canada's boreal forests and wetlands alone sequester an equivalent amount of carbon as is released worldwide over a 10-year period from the burning of fossil fuels. So it is, some people say it's a carbon sink, potentially a carbon time bomb, because to the tar sands industry, these are not, some of the most biologically rich, carbon-rich, critical agents in combating global warming. What these are overburden. What happens is the boreal forests are plowed down, the wetlands are drained, and they're replaced by mines like this.
This is the Murray River, which is in Moncton Provincial Park, just south of Tumbler Ridge. One of the many waterways that would be affected, and the pipeline is just crossing just out of the picture of where I'm crossing the river here. And this is the gateway to the Rocky Mountains. So this is BC. It was quite a relief, I must say, going to BC. We're kind of walking these dusty roads day after day, huge trucks bombing back and forth by us. Alberta is definitely a land strangled by industry. And you step into BC and you have clean air, clean water, beautiful nature. And this one particular pass really blew me away. It's basically, there's no road in there, there's no human trails, it's not a park. The only trails we ran into were animal trails. We saw moose, we saw grizzly, wolves woke us up with their howls in the morning.
Pretty focused when I'm on the paddleboard for the most part, because I know that the weather can shut down an expedition, especially when you're on a stand-up paddleboard, really, really easy. So anytime I had good water, I was trying to paddle hard and get a lot of distance in. But we heard some tail slapping, and again, this was right on the tanker route. There was 4 transient killer whales that had just made a kill on, I'm not sure what it was, but there was a bunch of eagles and seagulls flying overhead. So we stopped here for about 45 minutes as they circled around our boats and fed on whatever they had just killed.
It is not a question of if an oil spill will occur, but when, where, and how large. To help stop this pipeline, I was asked by the International League of Conservation Photographers to be part of a small team to travel to the region. As chief photographer for the Save Our Seas Foundation, I was tasked with documenting the underwater realm. A photographic assignment of such magnitude would normally require several months to complete, but due to the urgency of the pipeline, I had just 10 days to capture the spirit and character of the ocean and rivers of this place.
As I said, I heard a rumor that if these ships come under 12 knots, they're out of control. And they sat there and just stared at me, wondering where I got that information from, and they said, yeah, that's right. If one of these ships come under 12 knots, they're no longer in control and cannot regain control. So I said to them, well, how are you going to negotiate those terms? And they said to me, well, we actually have to get the boats up to 19 knots, taking those turns. At the end of the day, they tried offering me a job to own the largest tugboat company that would be in Canada. And I said, if I wanted to be a tugboat captain, I'd be one already. And I said, I really like what I'm doing.
People are speaking from their hearts, and the message is clear. What we need is a legislated ban on tankers through the Great Bear Rainforest.
So I'm really happy that you're all here and that you have taken an interest and are concerned by your presence here tonight about this important issue. We have to stand together, and I'm so grateful to my friend Ian, to him for his call to action, to these communication specialists to bring it to your attention, to the citizens of this country. It's been a long night, but very entertaining and very thoughtful, and thank all of you people for sharing this good work that you've brought forward for us. Wait.